It's Christopher Duffley back with another episode, and today I am joined by my mom, Christine Duffley.
Yes, hello. And if I'm not in your screen, I am here when we do the.
Oh yes,
we're in the studio.
Yes, we
and Christopher.
yes, we are, and we are on FaceTime, as you have just seen.
Yep.
If
okay, you're
good.
watching this,
yes, yeah, and I am joined. There we go. I just hid the voiceover visuals, so now you don't see the little cursor pop up. Although it will be interesting. I'll have to give you guys a review on how that works in the video one day. But anyway, I am joined by Stephen V. Taylor, and he is the producer of, believe it or not, of my last two albums. Is that crazy or what?
There they are.
Yes.
Welcome, Stephen, to Mission Possible.
I am so happy to be here.
Yes.
Tell you what.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you want to tell us a little bit about, pretty much a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get pretty much right into. So basically, like, you doing what you do, and then
I'll
we'll
give
basically
a little recap of my life here. I live in Nashville, Tennessee. And I am in the music business. I was in the music business for about 30 years. And along the way, I met Mr. Christopher Duffley, and we'll get into that story. But through the years, I've just been an arranger, a producer, and a writer of different artists, and a lot of music that was directed toward the church, and you being able to use different music for writing arrangements for church choirs and all those kinds of things. So it's just been an amazing journey. And now I'm on staff and been working with World Outreach Church here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, about 17 years, part-time and full-time. So now
wow.
I focus almost entirely on doing my work here at World Outreach Church.
Right. So tell us, how exactly did, as you've mentioned, how exactly did you find me? Because I know that because there was a viral video, obviously, that came out, and that's what we're talking about. Some of So
yes.
So tell us a bit about that. Like how exactly were
One day, Christopher, I was on Facebook, and
oh boy,
I was just kind of looking around, and I think I'm pretty sure it was Facebook where I came across your video that went viral of Open the Eyes of My Heart.
Right.
And I watched it, and I was so moved by it that I thought, you know what? I need to figure out who these people are and find them. And so I started doing a search basically from here in Nashville to figure out where you guys lived or how I could get in touch with you. I was wondering, at the time I was working at World Outreach Church, I wasn't full-time, but I was working here enough to where we were bringing in special guests and those, and I thought, this might be something that we could bring into World Outreach Church.
Yeah.
And so I finally found somehow, and I don't even remember how, but I found your mom's number.
Yeah.
And I think I called your mom and just introduced myself over the phone.
All right.
And I said, hey, I'm from Nashville. And you know what your mom said to me? She said,
what?
You know what? I think I know who you are, because one of our favorite albums is an album that you produced. And it was a Christmas album that I produced called Evening in December. Is that correct?
Oh, yes.
It was one of our favorite Christmas albums.
That's right. By First Call. That's right.
Yes. So I produced that album way back, I think it was probably late 80s. And,
oh, boy.
And then
you were using the newest computer tech out there.
Yes.
At that time.
Actually, that record was produced digitally, but it was one of the first digital records ever out there. But it but it was digital tape at the
Right.
time. It wasn't.
Oh
It
yeah, yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it
The
wasn't
file.
CD as we say.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Anyway, no, yeah.
But anyway, your mom said, "Hey, I think I know who you are," and she at the time she said, "We have really been searching for because Christopher's getting calls to go places to go sing after after this viral
Video.
video that's been on."
Yep.
And she said, "Would you mind just uh, is there any way you could help?" And I said, well, yeah, I'd be glad to. And so that started sort of a journey of just figuring out how we might work together. And then
Yeah.
over time, you came to World Outreach and you sang here several times.
Yes, I
And
have.
then we started working on an album together.
Oh
And
boy.
I am actually sitting in the very studio where we recorded your record right now.
Oh
So
boy. Yes. Oh my word. Is that crazy or what, Mom?
that's crazy.
It was really beautiful.
It was cool.
Because Stephen said you were one of the best. How you could take a critique and you would sing it back the way he wanted it.
Oh yeah.
He was amazed, and so the first time we did
Yes.
it was just pure fun. And the second album with Grace, we pushed Grace out of her comfort zone. Do you remember that?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I just remember we did that more in the office. He did a lot on the computer versus the first time we were in the studio. And it
Yes.
was just a tremendous opportunity for us, and people responded so well. They loved. I don't think they realized the quality. I think they were expecting some kind of kiddie album, and they actually got a professional recording. I will never forget that. In fact, we have some great pictures from that time. It was just awesome.
Oh yes.
Well,
Absolutely.
I realized early on working with Christopher that that I could sing. I could sing licks to him, and I could sing different ideas to him, and he would sing them right back to me. And so I would say, "No, do this, Christopher. Try this, and he would sing it right back exactly the same way. And then we would put it into the songs, and so I
Yeah.
started building those songs, kind of just on a verse by verse, chorus by chorus
Yep.
basis.
Or even
And
section by section, depending on what we did. But yeah, it's
we would spend hours up here, and Christopher never got tired. I
No,
just
he
couldn't
didn't.
believe it.
yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. It's yeah.
So I learned a lot from working with you, Christopher, and it
Yes.
was just a joy to see God use your music way beyond what we
Yes.
all could even think or imagine.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. So fast forwarding a little bit, because World Outreach, as we've mentioned, was actually the first, like, it wasn't the first church that I went to, but it was the first, like,
Huge
I did,
community.
I did, I
Yeah.
did go to a mega church in Texas before then, but still.
Right. Well, Stephen helped us to get into some of those churches.
Oh,
And
that's right,
then
that's
it was
right.
Green Acres, is it?
Yes,
In
it
Tyler,
was.
Texas.
Yeah.
Yes,
That
and
did-
you went to
yeah.
Prestonwood Baptist Church.
Yes, I did. Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah, I think you
yeah.
helped us with that one.
Yes.
Yes, you
Yes.
did. Yes, you
But
did.
the Green Acres was responsible for the video.
Yes.
And, right? Yeah. And that was, so we had a little video a video that told your story, and it really helped.
Right.
And now we're due for a new one.
Well, we ended up using your video in one of our performances on the very first time you were here.
Yep.
We put together a video, and we had our choir sing. We had our band playing for you. I mean, we
Oh,
just
yeah.
it was an awesome time, and
Oh, yes,
then we
it
ended
was.
up doing that on many songs after that.
Oh yeah. Yes, we have.
Right.
It's,
And we do have, I think, 2 of them up on our YouTube channel that people, and I'll never forget the Lean
yeah.
On Me with the children.
Yes. I
Wow.
remember that.
The enthusiasm, that girl in the background just really taking it all in, and just the feeling of, and I can't say enough about the community that embraced us and supported us in prayer, also by buying the CDs, which people raved about. And so we just a shout out to the World Outreach community.
Oh,
And
thank-
Pastor Jackson too. I mean, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. I remember Christopher coming up and talking, or the pastor would come up after Christopher sing, and he would talk to him for a few minutes, and that was always a sweet time. That was great.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Pastor
See, I
Jackson
guess
said,
since we,
"Sit down," and he would.
yeah,
You literally sat
you
down.
sit
You were
down on
getting
the
to be a
stage. Yeah,
little prankster.
Oh god.
Do you remember that, Stephen?
Well,
I
I
do.
did. Yeah.
With
Oh
every
gosh.
service, you got more
Yeah.
bold
Yeah.
and more prankstery.
Back then, I wasn't really. Well, I won't say I wasn't understanding, but I was like, whoa. Yeah.
Well,
With
and you
yeah,
and you and Grace sang a song together too.
That's right.
You sang a
yeah,
duet.
hold me.
Yeah, we did.
That's
Yes, we
right.
did, and I believe that it was actually our trailer until not too
Yeah,
long
yeah,
ago.
we had it up. Yeah,
Okay.
it's got lots of views.
We had it
on
up there for a very long time.
It
It was our
Great.
is
YouTube trailer, and then we
amazing.
changed it. I
It
think
is.
not too long
Awesome.
ago to a more modern.
Awesome.
But yeah, yeah.
Well, Christopher, I've been keeping an eye on you and just watching what you're doing, and I'm so incredibly honored to have been just a small part of what the way God has used you in the past 10 years or so, and
Yeah,
it's been a real privilege, and I'm really grateful for it.
absolutely, yes.
So
Yeah.
and so
It all
since
started in early 2011, but yeah, it's crazy.
oh, he's correcting you. 9 years. Well, still
9 years.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Well,
but
it'll-
that's
I
a
remember-
long time.
I
Or
Yeah,
remember
8
the
years.
first time that Christopher came here.
It'll be 10.
I was asking him a question, and I said, "Christopher, I know you guys came a long way," and he ended up and said, "Yeah." He told me exactly the mileage from your house to the church, and exactly how far it was, and all that kind. I mean, it was amazing, and I realized I better be careful about things I throw out because he's gonna correct me if I'm not careful.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And that was unique about you, Christopher. That's what made you
Yes.
really
And I do still do it to you, Mom, sometimes.
you
actually.
do. You do. You
Yes,
you
I
keep,
do.
You keep me on my toes.
I'm glad I do.
Yeah, you do. You do. So
That's right.
so it's been so long, Christopher. You've graduated high school, and now
Yes,
let's see
I
what's
have.
happened in Stephen's life since then.
Yes.
All right.
What has happened in your life since then?
Well, my kids are now all out of my house. I have 4 children,
Oh
and
boy, everybody's
I
out
have
of there now.
I have my oldest lives here in Franklin, or in Nashville. She works in Franklin, Tennessee, and then my second child, Alex, lives in Redding, California,
Oh
and
boy, all the way
and
out
she
there.
works with Bethel Music,
Oh
which is
my
a
goodness,
worship.
that's awesome. Yeah,
Artist.
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
They're,
she
yeah,
does
they're
all
an
their
awesome band.
she does all their branding and social media and all that stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
And then my son Matthew lives in New York City, and he is a
Oh man,
dancer
he's not
and
too far from me.
singer. No. And then my youngest daughter Annie is out in Reading with her sister Alex, but she is getting ready at the end of this year to come home. She's been out there for about 3 years now in
Yeah.
Reading as well. And she's been going to the school at Bethel called the Bethel School of Supernatural Ministry.
Wow,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
that's awesome.
But during
That's
COVID, you had a
awesome.
unique challenge, and God led you to do something really beautiful today. You just want to share that with people? We'd love to share that with our audience.
Yes. Of course, we're a church of about 10,000 people, so we're a very large congregation. And when COVID started, it was very quick. One week we were getting ready to come indoors to do our services, and all of a sudden, that on about Wednesday or Thursday of that week, we shut down and we started streaming our services, and that was in March, as just like most people. And so then for about in March and April, we did our services. We streamed our services from indoors, and then in May, we had a National Day of Prayer coming in May. You may remember
Right.
that.
Yeah.
And so we were trying to decide what to do, and our pastor said, "Hey, let's go outside so that people can come. It's the safest place to have church at this point." And so we got permissions to do all this stuff. We brought in a stage, and we started having church outside. And when we went outside, we decided to stay outside. So we started doing our church services on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sunday mornings. And we've been been had this stage outside now for since May of this year, doing
Wow.
outdoor services,
And it's still
and
outside.
it's still outside, and we're still
Man.
doing. We're probably going to continue to do those through October,
Yeah.
but then we've also started opening up and coming indoors on Sunday morning,
Yep.
and because we have
All right, because of the
four
cold weather and
different
all that.
venues. We have four different venues inside. So we open all those venues and people can spread out and social distance. And then they can also still go outside and watch the service on the screen out there if they want to do that, or they can come
Right.
into our main room where everybody. And then
Right.
in July of this year, we just decided to do an even a little bit different thing, and we decided that we would start bringing in some artists because, as you know, in Nashville we have a lot of Christian artists who
Oh
live
yeah.
in this area,
Mm-hmm.
and and I have friends in that field. So we started asking people to come, and we started on Saturday nights doing sort of a music festival outside,
Yeah.
and we started bringing in artists. So we've had about 25 different artists come in, and we're still doing that. This
Wow.
and We're having every Saturday night. We're having some local Christian artists come in and share sort of a
Yeah.
music concerts with us,
Right.
and
Right.
that's bringing people out, and people are coming out. We're having over 2,500 to 3,000 people come out on Saturday nights now
Oh boy. Wow.
outside.
That's awesome.
It's pretty amazing to see what God's doing.
That is
So
yes.
And I
Amen
know
to that.
you stream a lot of
we stream all that. Yes.
all of it. So,
Yeah.
folks, you want some encouragement? Just in the Facebook page, do you retain
Yes.
that streaming, or is it
Yes, we
okay?
we do our streaming on Facebook, we do it on YouTube, and we do it at our website,
Mhm.
which is wochurch.org.
Yeah.
Awesome. That is so timely right now.
Yes.
Wow. And then God led you to do a special project. If you want to touch on that, Stephen, about the music, it's
That's
a CD, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, about a year and a half ago, well, even before that, I have a dear friend whose name is Ed Cash, and Ed is a very well known producer, songwriter. He's written songs that all of us know now in the worship world, um, and He started working with Chris Tomlin in the early days of Chris's career,
Oh yeah.
and so he's just become a dear friend of mine,
Yep.
and we started meeting, not really that much about music, but just as friends. We started meeting on Fridays
Right.
and going to
Yeah.
have breakfast together and talking about Jesus and our families and all
Oh
these
yeah.
things. And then one day I kind of threw out an idea to Ed that I was working on. I said, "Hey, what do you think about this idea?" And he said, "Boy, I really like that." He said, "Would you mind if I ever expanded on that and maybe even pitched it to a record company?" And I said, "Well, no, I wouldn't mind that at all."
Oh man.
And I mean, I had no idea anything that he had really in his mind, but
Wow.
about 2 weeks later, he came back to another meeting that we had, and he said, "Hey, I just wanted you to let you know that I've pitched this idea." He at the time was producing Bethel Music Records,
Yeah.
and he did a record called Victorious, and
Oh
just
yeah. I might have
incredible
seen it.
songs on
I might
there.
have seen
Yeah,
it somewhere. Yeah.
it's been a really, really big record for them, but it came out about 3 years ago now, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But he produced that, and then he said, I love this idea, and I gave him the idea of doing some of the songs, but doing it in a very intimate, more devotional type way.
Right.
And so he came up with this idea of doing an album called Peace.
Yeah.
And so we ended up. He came to me and he said, "I've pitched the idea to Bethel Music. They really love it, and I want you to co-produce this album with me." And
Whoa.
so we ended up working on a record together, and it was such an incredible opportunity and such fun.
Yeah.
And then this was way before COVID ever began. And then when COVID began, we had already done about 6 or 8 songs on that record. And the people at Bethel said, "Hey, we would like to get this record out now because people definitely need peace in their lives."
Oh
And
yeah.
so we ended up finishing the record. It came out this year on Good Friday, on April the
Whoa.
10th, I think
Oh
it was.
yeah.
And then it was released and it's gone all over the world. And the Lord's really used it in an amazing way. It
Mm-hmm.
was nominated this year for Worship Album of the Year. And then Ed and I have been nominated as co producers of the year for a Dove Award. So
Whoa.
it's been really crazy to see what has happened. And it's been a
Yes.
blessing to be a part of it.
Oh
So,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Well.
pretty
that
amazing
is
story.
terrific. Is that and it's such good news.
It
Oh,
is good
Stephen,
news.
that's great. Christopher,
It's well, the record is. I would just recommend it to anyone if they need a time of just introspection, but they also hear these words of declaration in their lives. One of the songs is called "Surrounded" that Carrie Job sang, and
Fight my battles.
yeah, this is how I fight my
Oh
battle.
man. Oh, that
And
is wow.
it's just an amazing to hear the way that it's done. It's
That
done
is
in
a great song.
a very worshipful and devotional way.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did the song "Raise a Hallelujah." I raise a hallelujah, even in the mystery, in the midst of the storm. I'm going to
Yes.
raise a hallelujah.
Oh, that's an
And
awesome song. Oh,
so
absolutely. Just
we
wow.
did about 12 different songs,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really the Lord has really used it in a powerful way, and I recommend it highly. It's on Apple Music or any of the
It's
music.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right, we can see how we can help with that. Either put a link to a sample
So it's called
or
Victorious?
something. Yeah,
It's called Peace.
peace.
Oh, by
Peace
yeah,
by
yeah, by who
Bethel
now?
Music.
Oh, sweet. I'm gonna look it
Peace by
up.
Bethel Music. Yeah,
Yes.
you'll like it. You'll like it, Christopher.
Yeah. Mm.
And what a great way to kind of end our time together. I know for Christopher, one reason we're doing this series is because Chris has a brand new beginning and he's decided that he's going to continue speaking and continue to visit churches and
Awesome.
also to promote accessibility. He's taken some courses
Yes.
in online. Thanks to
Yep.
DQ University, he's able
Yes.
to study accessibility and actually get some designations and
Certifications.
help look at so he can look at the World Outreach website and he can say, hey, this isn't accessible to me, and actually make some pretty practical suggestions.
Right.
So it's
Awesome.
really cool. Yeah. So
Awesome.
I know we'll have to pop in the next time we are in the
Yes.
area, and
Yeah,
we'll be
we're-
letting you know when all our stuff's in order, Stephen. I'd love to get your
Please
eyeballs
let
on
us
it.
know.
Yeah.
Please let, yeah.
Well, that's a great way to end our podcast, Christopher.
Yes.
That
it sure
people can
is.
go and check out Peace by Bethel Music.
Yes.
and
exactly. Yes.
That in
Well-
the journey, it's great to have wonderful friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've been very, very blessed, very fortunate. I'm popping my head into the screen.
You know what I used to call you, don't you, Christopher?
Oh yes,
CD.
yes, I
CD.
do remember it. CD is right, man. Yes, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, Stephen V. It has been Stephen V. Taylor. It's been a pleasure to have you on the podcast finally, because we've actually been wanting you on here for a while now, but with
we're
but,
getting organized.
yeah.
Hey,
We're just getting
glad
there.
it
Don't
worked
worry.
out.
It's
Glad
all
it
good.
worked out.
It is. Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So we can end it right here, Chris, and we can thank people for being part of listening today,
Yes,
or
exactly.
for watching
Yes,
us on
yes, yes.
YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, and a special thanks to our patrons on Patreon. I honestly do not know if this would have continued as long as it is now without the with
Our partners, right?
yes, and especially during this COVID, this time of COVID, otherwise I would have had to have speaking events and whatnot, paying for everything that we're hosting the podcast on, that we're hosting our website on. So there's a lot involved, but I do thank you very much for for supporting me. And for those of you who are still interested in supporting my podcast but have not decided yet, if you want to take a look more at it in more detail, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/Christopher Duffley. You'll find it. It's always in the show notes, right at the bottom of that post. Every post, you'll find it there. And, ChristopherDuffley.com /support is where you can go and you can see your options. So you can either donate monthly or one time, whichever
Whatever
works
you'd
for
like.
you.
And in the show notes,
But
remember, we're going to put a link to Steven's production with Bethel Music. Peace.
Oh, yeah, we should. Yes,
what a great thing to remind ourselves of.
Yes.
So, Steven, thanks for being with us today.
So glad to be with you, brother.
Yes, absolutely, man. Alrighty, folks. Well, we'll catch up in the next episode. Take care, and God bless.